I think I may have ever seen. And I must tell you something, with the call center, I've seen every scam come down the pipe. Because they call me with every deal that they could get hustling across the country because of the volume we can do. I have seen deal after deal after deal. I don't just jump into deals. That is not my thing. But when something comes along and you read about the man, you read about the company, how many CEOs of a company this size take what the doctor takes for income? You know any? Nobody. I'd be saying that to every investor out there because it's public information. They can run it and you see exactly what he makes. Nobody takes that little money. Nobody. Is that a credibility builder to an investor? Oh my God, pull out the book. I don't have the fat one. I have it back at the hotel. I carry that with everybody I talk to. There he is. Absolutely. Building the credibility, pumping it up. Every possible thing you can use is credibility. That is a gold standard right there, guys. And if the patent hadn't been tested, I would still be a little bit worried. But now that the patent's been tested, forget about it. This is the real deal. This is a gold standard deal. That's the only way to look at this. And that's what you have to be getting people excited with outside of this building. There's a lot of excitement about it. I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody has, the story is great, and the work is good, and everybody loves the loyalty of the company. And Dr. Demadian is a wonderful man to deal with. He's obviously, God blessed him with something that he didn't bless other people with. And he worked, and he worked, and he worked, and he built this out of his own salaries. He really had a tough time raising money. He worked, and he worked, and he worked, because like Saul says, I know why they get along. He never gave up. They told him it was impossible. Has everybody read the book that has the section on NMR, the history of NMR? I mean, look. If you can't build credibility out of that, you can't build credibility, and maybe there's something else you need to do. But if you can build credibility from that, and you build this as a story, and you make it a word picture, and you make it an investment, and then you throw in the cherry of the deal that it's a one-of-a-kind upright MRI that nobody else can put anywhere, you're in a very different investment right now. It changes everything about the way people will think about it. Because all they want to know is I can get involved in a deal that would be similar to any invention during the history of man that made such a gigantic difference. And you know what? Everybody probably figures, you know what the investors think? And I heard some people say, oh, the MRI business is declining. It's not declining. Number one, population's going up. We're getting older, so we're having more pain. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going the other direction, and for us, it's definitely going in the other direction. If I was a rep for one of the big four after the splash that we're going to make, and we're going to get excited, and we're going to go out and do it, they're going to want to be working for you guys.
Statistics I've seen on the growth of MRI has been 30% annual growth.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's all these doubts that need to be put out there when you don't have a good argument. And the big four, as a matter of fact, we're going to have 4 more of them out. I would do it in my own territory. They don't know. You know any of the reps for the other companies? No. I mean, some of them, but you probably could get a sampling where they'd have no idea who you were, and they'll tell you everything. They'll come and pitch you. Tell them I'm looking at opening up a radiation or a radiology center.
You already know what they're saying about it.
Yeah, but okay, well, if you already know, then great. Forget about it, because it's a lie, it's gone, it's the past. So what we'll do is we'll build the program where now they'll get to play defense for a while. But what it's going to take, it's going to take everybody making this their headline of what they're doing, and during the hours that they're doing it, they're just pounding away to let everybody in the territories know they're there. That's the first step. Yes, Steve?
Interestingly, I have one of my clients, monthly distribution. People are saying that everything's gone down, and I get that argument all the time. Monthly distribution is over 200.
Really?
Monthly.
Yeah.
Where's that mean?
Distribution
Of what?
after expenses, and on an MRI center, one of my centers,
Yeah.
monthly distribution is over 200.
Positions.
With physicians and
they're not referring.
They're not referring any Medicare.
200,000?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Should be. Run the numbers. Right?
Pretty impressive, but
What should it bring at 12 hours a day?
200,000 profit?
Yeah, a month.
You believe that?
Yeah.
You believe
No, it should be 200,000 profit, it should be, but I was figuring it on the lowest figure, and it comes in at about 70. On the lowest, if you're getting paid into, at the lowest rate of reimbursement from the insurance
It
company.
really depends on demographically what part of the country you're in and what your reimbursement is, and then the formula, whether it goes from 700,000 to 150, 70,000 a month to $150,000 a month, and then you have some exceptions like, Mr. De La Garza, who's really,
Right.
He's running 20-hour days.
Right, I was saying is the lowest we figured was 70, so you say that's about should be about the low end.
Depending on what part of the country, it could be,
Okay.
could be probably as low as 500 to 150 monthly. After you're established and you're doing 15 patients a day.
Right. The trick is going to be getting your people to that as quickly as possible, and we'll have that program to lay out to those people. There's no question that can be done now. It's already been
That's an
tested.
investor, that's a good number.
Absolutely.
Without
Oh, that's a good, 70 is a good number. On that investment,
Yeah.
I think anybody'd be happy as a net at 70. And it's not with numbers that are unrealistic. Not at all. Okay. What other questions can you think you might want to know from the investor while we, because I'm going to let me run down them real quick. Return on investment, if they're an accredited investor, what their discretionary income is, what their risk level is, where they like to invest, have they invested and at what size in medical kind of investments, the time horizon of how long they want to be in the investment, whether they're an active or passive investor, and whether or not they have back pain or somebody that they immediately know has back pain. And the facts about depreciation, which we'll get the specifics on of how the machine would depreciate. Any other questions you can think of? Yes?
Do they have any doctors who are friends?
That's a good
Close
one.
friends.
Yeah, sure. If we're going after high net wealth people, they have doctors. That's a good one. Put a little group together by yourself. Absolutely. Anything else? Yes?
If it's a group, what's the mix of that group? Are they chiros? Are they attorneys? What's the group that's going to be invested?
So what the parts of the investment group are, that's good. Because it might lead us to other people that way. That's a good idea. Parts of the group. What else? That's a pretty good, I'm trying to think on other investments what we might have, the threshold of the size of the deal. Whether they would be able to do a deal that size themselves or they would need other people to be involved with them. I happen to think that's an extremely important question from the ego standpoint of it. No matter what they would invest into a group, it's going to be a substantial investment. So you never want to put down that doing parts of a deal is not as good as doing a whole deal. So we want to be very careful at the beginning. If we can find out that they obviously couldn't do it by themselves, but they could do it as part of a group, we want to make that distinction. Because I'll tell you why. That'll determine how far into the presentation you want to go with them the first time. I was talking to somebody about, I believe, Bill? You were saying about the people that, the surgeons, bringing surgeons together, where you had to make sure that you had the appointment where everybody in the group was together at that first appointment. Don't do it for two and hope they're going to transmit your excitement to the other three. It's not going to happen. They're going to talk about it as cold as what we're now saying we're no longer going to talk about it as. You need that appointment to get everybody up front. So you want to make sure that if they're investing, that it's whether it's a size they can handle themselves. Now, the one way to be able to do that might be to verify the net wealth number that you have
You
on
just
it.
ask him, what does he put into an idea? What does he invest
Right, well,
typically?
that we put out, but I think you want to know whether or not they're capable of doing it. That would probably help.